Okay, I'm here with Mr. Tyrone. This is me, good old Morris, and I'm here with Mr. Tyrone Travis. Many of us refer to him as our father of the Detroit Grassroots Movement. Those of us concerned tax-paying Detroiters who has been following and chasing and uncovering corruption in Detroit and the effect that it is having on our community and us. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, but without any further ado, we have Mr. Tyrone Travis. Hello there, Mr. Tyrone Travis.
Oh, I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing even better since I got a chance to see you. Hadn't seen you in such a long time. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Tyrone, you know, you've been out here fighting corruption in Detroit for a long time. We've been trying to inform the public to come out and help us. Just talk to us. Let us know what's been going on in the city of Detroit, you know, with the corruption and all.
Well, the people of Detroit find themselves under colonial dictatorship from the black intelligentsia, who are basically political careers, go from one school board to the city council, from city council to county official jobs, and then to the revolving door to corporation who they've been serving since 1994. These careers, political careers itself tells the people of Detroit did not keep voting for them, and they're voting for people who are looking out only for their career. All they had to do is see them going from, they both love kids, and soon they get elected, and they can get on the state, they leave the kids. So it shows you that none of them really cared about the people, it was a career. And that...
Yes, ma'am. So we're going to pause for a minute so we can order our delicious soul food from Connie's and Miss Barbara's restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes, we're back. We're back with Mr. Tyrone Travis, the father of the Detroit Grassroots Community and Movement of People. Mr. Tyrone Travis, you were talking about districts. What were you just elaborating on?
Districts. In 1989, my former wife and myself looked at the city's governmental structure. There was a lot of bickering between Coleman Young and the city council. So we decided that what would be good was to have the more input for the people, and the only way people without money, districts would be one way, was shorten it where more grassroots people, ordinary people could participate in the process. And so I ran my former wife for city charter commissioner, so to make sure we got districts. But during the course of the charter of 93 and 97, I seen people coming from Capitol. It was a extension of Wall Street. All your corporation people. Then they send a young lady named Janice Anderson.
Okay, we're going to pause just for the cause. Right, so you were talking about 1989, what?
Yes, 1989, my former wife ran for City Charter Commissioner, and the platform was District City Council, 7 districts and 2 at large. And also on her campaign was to unify the legislative and executive branch of government into a council manager form of government. That the council wouldn't just be a talk show shop, but it would be also would enact laws and would be responsible of executing laws through the manager. So that at that time, during the Charter Commission, all people from a group called Capital Asset, that's a financial group, from Florida that's tied up with Wall Street. And then the corporations, Ford, General Motors, and them would send people to the Charter Commission. And they had a young lady coming from Maryland University named Janice Anderson. She presented advisory district council. And when that started happening, then I started looking at all these people start talking about districts. At that time, we said, no, we don't want districts because they was going to use districts to develop a city in a city.
Exactly.
And I went against districts.
Yes.
And you had people like Lamar Lemons, they sicked on the comment to front me, but he got Fred and backed up at a charter commissioner meeting, but who later on pushed for districts so that the immigrants could have representation. So we went against districts and seeing that our survival depends on at large, where we would be able to control the political body here because of politics in Detroit, and we could promote and defend our interests because of our numbers.
Yes.
But all the groups, the nationalist groups, the Shrine of Black Madonna, all the nationalist groups, even the Muslim, became under the leadership of the group of League of Women Voters.
Oh yes.
In the suburbs.
Yes.
They followed the lead of the League of Women's Voters, and all your political people here, even on the city council, they followed that, and that was so that they could get district council, so they could draw the boundaries. And if they draw the boundaries, they could implement a 1983 provision in the Home Rule City Act where territories could detach itself from city. In other words, detach itself from Detroit. That's what you see developing downtown now. That's why in the day's paper, they said District Detroit, because Detroit will be shrunk from all the other districts other than 5 and maybe 6 quarter time.
And we do remember the talk of the shrinking.
Yeah, the shrinking. And that's what's going to happen. And that's the water and everything's about it. So, District City Council is how they could draw the boundaries. And you will look, they're going to have a petition drive in number 5 to secede from Detroit. And that's, you got all your activists, they just as bad as the city council and those ministers who support the city council in Duggan. Now that they got a district and they got an independent tax base because they extended the authority of Downtown Development Corporation that would handle all taxes in District 5. So that taxes in District 5 would not be shared with the rest of the districts out here. And that means we will fold because we will not have the tax base.
So wouldn't this mean that people living in many of the other 7 districts that was created illegally through corruption, wouldn't this mean that many of these people in these other districts, they would no longer be in the city of Detroit anymore? Well,
they won't have the tax base to be independent once Downtown District 5 secedes from Detroit. And therefore, they would have to raise taxes on the people, and we got no industrial, commercial, or financial base out here. Only down in District 5 got that. So the rest, how they going to shrink Detroit? With the water, we won't be able to pay, with that so-called 10, 30, 50, and they got it where if you live on this side of town, everybody got to pay on one day. Now most of your senior citizen is getting Social Security. Social Security is not regulated by calendar days, but it's regulated by numbers when you get your Social Security. So it won't match. So it means the seniors will be thrown out of their houses because they will not be able to pay the bill on time. And there's no grace period if you don't pay your water bill. But there's many other housing programs. You got the Detroit Detroit Property Maintenance Codes that was passed in 203, which your modern day Harry Tubman happened to be Joanne Watson who voted for it. And they are carrying out right now in fighting blight. And that if you, they can come in your house. And Duggan says all your departments, like the Department of Safety and Engineering, is working with the Health Department, is working with the different departments. And if they want to come in your house, they can come in your house, get a warrant, and if you got any violations, then they can make you move out of your house, such as if your water's cut off, they can make you move immediately that hour. And then they'll put a poster, a red sign, that no one can enter the building. You can look forward to that. That's one of you all who's running behind Duggan and running behind how good things are. But that's what's in store for all of us.
Tell me this, Mr. Tyrone. Growing up in the city of Detroit, what I've noticed is that since we had the Honorable King Coleman Alexander Young, I always call him King, I noticed a certain kind of black empowerment that I never seen in any other city. I saw black mayors, I saw a majority black city council, I saw majority black school boards, state reps. We send black Congress people to Washington, D.C. I've seen more black appointees here in Detroit than anywhere. Going into districts, would that have helped our political power, or would that disempower us as a people?
It would make no difference if Coleman was there or not, because they had passed a provision in 1983 called territory. It's a long name. Let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. It's I can't think of it, but it's right at the beginning of the Home Rule City Act. It's talking about territory can secede from Detroit, detach, that's what they call it, detach from Detroit. Go and get that. You will see that if they got districts, they were going to implement this like they're going to implement it now. So if Mayor Young was there and that passed, he would not have been able to stop it, because you got them, you see who's going downtown. You see what's going on downtown.
But then he has such a strong leadership. Do you believe that, I don't believe that districts would have passed under his leadership. He would have had that strong voice the way he had for 20 years, and whenever he steered us into the right direction, we knew to follow. So I really don't believe that had he been the mayor, that there would have been a yes vote for district.
In 1995, he came to the city charter commissioner meeting, and he warned the city charter, if they break Detroit up into districts, that Detroit would disintegrate. He warned them then, and I had already warned them, but his warning wasn't sufficient. They still, they didn't get the district, but they put it on the ballot, and the people voted it down, but they put it as separate issue. This city charter people hid it inside the charter, did not put district up as a separate issue, because most people would have voted it down, and they was told not to. So, but that's what's in store for us with district city council. But right now, Detroit is only Detroit in name only. When you incorporate as a city, you have to have a charter, and that charter have provisions of how it's going to operate, and what department's going to do, what the tasks of the mayor is going to do, and all that. And it must be within the guidelines of the Constitution of Michigan and its law. So they decided we're going to have Department of Water and Sewage. We're going to have the Recreation, and just name the department. Well, all of those departments are gone. They are regional authorities. We are ran by regional authorities. We don't have any power at
Mr.
all.
Tyrone,